Yo, growing a business is kind of tricky right now. Supply chains are squeezed, tariffs and trade policies are dynamic, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. You need clarity to come out on top. Without it, you risk falling behind. If only you could hop in the DeLorean and see the future, right? Thankfully, there's NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite has real-time forecasting to help you move ahead with confidence. This is your AI-powered business management suite and the #1 cloud ERP. Trusted by over 42,000 businesses, NetSuite brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. And with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. You spent months building towards launch day, but when the clock hits 0, your site crashes. Bots swarm, and loyal fans rage on Reddit. That's not good. Fanfare was built to stop that. Fanfare is the drop platform made for high-pressure moments, stampede-proof infrastructure, verified waitlists, and bot filters that actually work. Instead of refunds and rage, you get retention and revenue. And that sounds great to me. Your next launch shouldn't be a gamble. Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook and learn how to bulletproof your drop at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, that's fanfare.io/playbook.
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later.
And now your host. One of his biggest problems is that when he sees a button, he wants to press the button.
Pat Flynn.
Happy Friday, Pat here. And I have a thought that I wanted to share with you that came to mind because it's taken about a month and a half to get to this point in what I'm about to tell you. But that month and a half was a grind. It was a struggle. It was a lot of questioning. It was a lot of self-doubt. But in about a month and a half, after consistently doing the thing, I've just gotten into a groove, finally. And of course, we all wish we can get into the groove or the flow or just comfortable with the thing, whatever the thing may be. And I'll tell you what the thing is that I'm working on in just a second. But I always forget that, right? We wish that we can just pick up the laptop, open it up, and start writing, and bam, our novel, our book is done. Or go back onto the field or the golf course, having not played for a while, and then boom, you just hit par or even better. It doesn't work like that. In order to get into the groove, and this is especially important when you're doing the same thing over and over again, or you have a task that is required to be done repeatedly over time to help you get to a goal, you just got to start and get messy. And I've talked about this before, but you got to be a disaster before you become the master. Thank you to John Lee Dumas, which is where I first heard that. I don't know if he made that up, but whoever made that up, thank you, because I love that quote. You gotta be a disaster before you become the master. I have to preach that to myself every time I start something new. So what is this quote-unquote new thing? Well, it's not totally new, but it was me picking it up again, and that is writing. Writing not in the sense of emails and blog posts. Those things I have just sort of, they're like riding a bike to me. But writing a book. You might know that I'm in the middle of writing my next book, and this is my first traditionally published book, which is in my head making it a lot bigger of a deal than maybe I should make it. Now, it is a big deal, of course. There is a publisher now who will want it to be a certain way, and I'm always conflicted as to, well, how much am I going to give them, or how much am I going to, stand my ground on? And we haven't even reached those parts yet because we're still working on the manuscript. The goal is to get this manuscript over to the publisher by summer. Hopefully even before then, before the official start of summer. Well, I started in February, and it's been a grind. And I think they call it a grind because the wheel is spinning, and you got to get that rust off before you start to see the shine, right? And I'll tell you, it was tough. And I think what made it even worse is that I know that I've written 3 really good books in the past, starting with Let Go, which was a little bit easier. This was back in 2013, and that was just a memoir. That was just me recalling things that I've already written in blog posts about my story. The next book was Will It Fly in 2015, and then later in 2019, Superfans. And I'm grateful that Will It Fly and Superfans still continues to be evergreen. I wrote them to be as such. The technology is going to change, but the principles behind building a business and building a community, like I talk about in Superfans, is always going to remain true. And I think it's even more important now, especially with things like AI and ChatGPT coming and all those sorts of things that are going to make a lot of the skills that we have almost irrelevant. It's the soft skills now, the communication, the presentations, the storytelling, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm on a tangent right now. Started writing in February. It was an absolute grind, but I kept going, and I got some help. Big shout out to Jeff Goins, who's been my collaborator on this, who's been really pushing me, who's been asking me the right questions, who's been helping me take these ideas and these stories and this framework and this structure out of my head and onto, a messy folder. And he calls it clay, right? It's like clay. We're going to get all the clay out, and then we're going to mold it together into something great. And then we're going to pop it in the oven, and then bam, pottery or whatever it might be. Well, in this case, it's a book, right? And there's days you want to give up. And there's good days in the grind as well, right? You might have a great day of writing, or your equivalent to my writing, whatever it is that you're working on, podcasting perhaps, or filming video, or golf. You might have a great day. You might shoot really well. And then you go, man, I'm over that hump. Now I won't have to worry about the grind anymore because I'm past it. And then the next day, you're back, and you took like 3 steps back, right? And that's so disheartening, because then you feel like it's an even more uphill battle. But then you keep going, you keep grinding, the rust starts coming off, more good days than bad, and all of a sudden, you're where I am now, which is in a groove. And I love the groove. I'm on the dance floor now. And many days I put on the right song, and boom, I'm doing the 3-step. I don't know what I'm saying now, but all that to say, and again, I just finished a writing session, so this is why this is fresh on my mind. It's taken a while to get here. And now it's the opposite, right? Where I'm writing really well, and then I have an off day here and there. But I am trying to get through it every day. So this is just some encouragement and a little bit of a personal story and something that I'm going through right now, that whatever it is that you need to do repeatedly, keep doing it. Even though in the beginning it's going to suck, and then it's going to suck a little less, and then it's just going to get better. It's just naturally going to do that. But as you suck, you're going to tell yourself you suck, and you're going to stop. That's most people, but that's not you. You are going to keep going. So whatever it is, that thing is that is in your mind right now, I want you to put those I suck stories aside, and I want you to bring in the I'm in the grind right now, the rust is coming off, and it's going to look shiny in the end. But you got to be a disaster before you become the master, right? And I think about this from all the other books that I've written. I mean, besides Let Go, again, which I've had a lot of practice on, Will It Fly? That was my first quote unquote real business book, because it wasn't just my story; it was actual strategies and tactics and other people's stories and things like that in it, and that made it feel very heavy. And there was a lot of rust. It just was like I was carving stone, not putting clay together. But I had a big weight that was just I had to carve from. And I'm grateful that I had people like Azul from Authors Who Lead, who coached me through that and helped me chisel the right book out of everything that was going on. And that was a 1.5 years of a grind before I finally got the groove. With Superfans, a lot of the rust came off during presentations. This book, Superfans, was actually a presentation that was then converted into a book. And so I had a lot of the structure, I had a lot of the stories. It was just a matter of taking those stories and putting them onto paper or onto, Google Docs. But the thing that helped the most was actually setting deadlines and getting into a daily writing routine again. And I did that in November of 2018. I remember that specifically because November is NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writers Month. And I used that month, which is a big challenge all over the world. People are using every day in November to write a novel. Well, I decided to write a business book and take that from my presentation, Superfans, which was very popular and still today. It's just amazing how I still get asked to speak about that and even get paid to do that sometimes, which is wild. But that book was a grind first week because I was public about it as well. I had you hold me accountable. We could probably go back into time on my Instagram and find those posts where I was sharing my daily writing count. And I remember the very first day or prior to this challenge, I announced this challenge. I'm going to write a book in November. It's like October right now. And I tell everybody, hey, I'm going to report, because this is what I do. I just work in public, right? Sort of like what I'm doing right now with Deep Pocket Monster. I report every day how many words I'm going to write. So everybody, I want you to guess how many words I'll write on day one. And we'll do this every day. We'll have a contest. I did a little giveaway for people who were closest to my word count. So it was a little game. I gamified it a little bit. People were following along. And of course, when people are involved, they're invested. So this was all part of marketing as well. Even before the book was written. Yes, you need to market your book even before the book is written. What am I doing here today? What have I done for the last 6 months? Talked about my new book before it's even written. I walk the walk, people. And I remember that first day, people were guessing 1,700, 2,000, 5,000 words. Pat, you're going to write so much. You've written books before. This is incredible. You're going to be awesome. I can't wait to see the book. First day, I think I wrote like 300 words in a 1-hour writing session. And then I asked the next day, hey guys, how many words do you think I'm going to write? You saw day one was a little bit of a struggle, but hey, you believe in me, right? How many words do you think I'm going to write on day 2? 400. 350. You all switched your belief in me real quick. But that's because of day 1. But then week 1 went by, numbers started to get a little bit bigger. And then the next week, the numbers got even bigger. And then I was in a flow, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 words per day. And then by the time my birthday came around, December 6, 2018, guess what? I'd finished the very rough, but still first draft. And it was because I got through the grind. So get through the grind, take that rust off, and shine. I know you could do it. Thank you so much, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Look forward to seeing you or hearing or having you hear me on Wednesday. We have another interview coming up. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you then. Cheers. Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at smartpassiveincome.com. I'm your host, Pat Flynn. Our senior producer is David Grabowski. Our series producer is Paul Gregoris. And our executive producer is Matt Gartland. Sound editing by Duncan Brown. The Smart Passive Income Podcast is a production of SPI Media. We'll catch you in the next session. Hey, fellow podcaster, does this sound like something you've experienced? You record your podcast episode on one platform, download the files, edit in another app, then fire up a different tool just to create these social clips? Well, it can be clunky, time-consuming, and frankly overwhelming, especially for creators trying to grow. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Riverside. Riverside is the all-in-one platform. Record, edit, and repurpose your podcast content all in one place. You just log in, record with your guests no matter where you are in the world, and just like that, studio-quality audio and high-resolution video. We use Riverside here at SPI as well now. With built-in AI, I can automatically clean up my audio, saving myself so much editing time, and it can even auto-generate clips to make promoting the show a breeze. And with Magic Clips, I can grab the best moments and repurpose them as short-form video, perfect for YouTube Shorts, TikTok, or Instagram, without re-recording a thing. So if you're tired of juggling tools and want a faster, simpler way to create and scale your content, it's time to try Riverside, built by creators for creators. Just go to smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside and use code SMART to get 1 month free on the Pro plan. That's smartpassiveincome.com/Riverside, promo code SMART. Look, I get it. You want to grow your business, but trying to sell to hundreds or even thousands of people gets very exhausting very fast. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? Score App helps you sell to more people without adding more to your plate. You build a quiz or assessment that your audience actually wants to take. Then they answer a few quick questions and get a personalized result right away. It shows them where they're at and what they need to do next and how you can help. And you build huge amounts of trust before you make even a single offer. No hard sell, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. All you have to do is just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI.